Marky Mark is here with a #1 single to boot. How you doing, Marky Mark?
Good, Martha. How you doing? I like that intro. That's kind of hitting.
Thank you. I wrote that myself. Now,
So?
when you started to make this record, did you have any idea that you would have a #1 song?
Nah, I didn't have any idea that my record would do anything. You know, I just wanted to make a record, and I wanted to do it with my brother, and we did it together. And now, you know, everything else is just like extra special goodie treats.
Well, that goodie treat went all the way to #1. We're going to get right into the phone calls. We have Howard waiting on the line from Spring Valley, New York. Howard, welcome to Rockline, and pose your question, if you will.
Hey, Mark, how you doing?
Yo, what's up? How you doing, man?
Okay. How does it feel to be in the teen magazines?
The teen magazines, they okay and all, but, you know, I'd rather be in a magazine with a little more impact, a little more of a serious magazine. But, you know, the girls be checking me out in the teen magazine, so it's all right.
Thank you, Howard, for the call. Katie is on the line. Katie is calling from Berkeley, Michigan, where she's watching Rockline right now. Go ahead, Katie. You are on with Marky Mark.
Hey, Mark, this is Katie Kate.
Hey, Katie Kate, how are you?
I'm great. How you doing?
It's a very original name.
Oh, yeah, well, you know, firstly, I just wanted to say that you are such a babe, and I love you more than life, okay?
Oh, thank you. I can understand, you know, loving me, but not more than life. I love you, too, but
I love you,
I
babe.
still love my life.
But anyway, I just wanted to ask you, how did you feel about being voted the best new rap artist at the Boston Music Awards?
It was shocking. It was the most memorable experience of my music career. You know, it was just like, that was the beginning, and it was very exciting.
And in your own hometown of Boston, that must have made it extra special.
Mm.
Okay, thank you very much for calling, and Michelle is on the line. She is calling from Detroit, Michigan. You all right there, Marky?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Michelle.
Oh, hi, Marky.
Oh, hi, Michelle. How are you?
You are just so gorgeous. I mean, you are hurting them. You just can't hurt them no more. You just got so, oh, my God.
Oh,
Oh, would you say hi to Marky
thank
and
you so
Erilyn,
much.
please?
Excuse me?
Could you say hi to Marky and Erilyn?
Hi, Erilyn. How are you?
Hi, Marky.
Hi.
Okay, girls, what's your question?
Oh, God. I was wondering, was it hard for you, like, being a white rapper now with all the controversy, like Vanilla Ice and all that stuff?
It all depends on what you stand for and what you're all about, you know. It wasn't hard for me in any way, you know, because I'm true to the art form, and I respect it, and I think I made a dope street record, you know. It can be hard for some people, but it wasn't really for me.
Well, let me ask. I'll bite. What do you stand for? What are you all about?
Well, you know, I'm just, you know, a rapper. I've been a rapper for a long time. You know, that's all I ever wanted to do was basically make the music for the people. And you know, I think that it's very important to stay true to the art form and be true to what you're doing. You know, and not try to take anything away from it at all.
Marky Mark is here on Rockline on MTV, and we have a phone call right now that comes from Ossining, New York, which happens to be my hometown. Hi, Greg. Welcome to the show.
Martha?
Yes?
I just want to say you're the best VJ in the world, and I love when you say things about Ossining.
That's funny. Well, thank you, Greg. I'm glad you called. Say hi to Marky Mark.
Hey, Marky.
Hey, what's up, man?
I'm just wondering if you like to take a stand on critics like your brother did in the song Games, like when he said, "Who gives a damn about what critics say?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
It really makes me mad, because I think it's great.
Oh, yeah,
Oh.
definitely. Definitely in house. I couldn't really hear the question that good, though.
Well, Greg, let me try and clarify it. The question would be exactly what? Let's go over it again.
Like, do you take a big stand on critics when they criticize different types of music, at hip-hop and hip-hop and other stuff like that?
Well, you know, I think that critics are basically just frustrated musicians, you know, and they don't have anything better to say. And, you know, I don't really care what they say about me. You know, I know who I am and what I'm all about and what my producer and my brother is all about, you know, so I ain't sweating them.
All right, thank you very much. Hey, Greg, thanks for calling from Ossining, New York. Now we're going to go to Madison, Wisconsin, where Amy's on the line waiting to say hello. Go ahead, Amy, you're on.
Hi, Mark.
Hi, how you doing?
First, I want to say I really love you, and I love your album. I think you're really, really talented.
Oh, thank you very
And
much.
my question is, I was wondering if you're going to be coming to Wisconsin on your tour?
Most likely I will. I'm not sure exactly when, but we'll definitely be swinging by there.
What exactly are your tour plans, Marky?
Well, right now it's up in the air. We're doing a lot of different promotional stuff, but I think in the beginning of November we're going to be kicking off a club tour in the West Coast, and then we're just going to make our way over to the East Coast.
Now, you actually did perform with the New Kids way back when, is that right?
Yeah, well, the first show the Funky Bunch ever did as a group was with the New Kids in Sullivan Stadium.
Whoa, that's a big first show. Now we have a call from Tammy, who's watching in Los Angeles, California, kind of a local call for us. Hi, Tammy. Welcome to the show, and ask your question.
Hi, Mark.
Hi, Penny. How are you?
From L.A. when you and Danny drove me to the hotel.
Oh, what's up? What's going on?
What's your question, Tammy?
My question is, how has the music business changed you in your own hometown?
It hasn't changed me at all, you know. It's a little weird, you know, people coming up to you and say, hey, aren't you this guy? And oh, I like your music and stuff, but it hasn't changed me in any way.
Was it hard for you growing up being Donnie Wahlberg's little brother?
Nah. You know, I every once in a while I might have got into a few beefs here and there, you know, people saying, oh, well, what's up with your brother's group and this and that, because I was around a lot of people who were into rap and stuff like that, and if they found out, you know, but no, they would never really sweat Donnie because he was always, you know, stronger on the rap scene and stuff like that with games and stuff.
How long have you had the name Marky Mark?
For a while. It's been Marky, and I've had some crazy nicknames in my days.
Like what?
Well, my newest one is Monk D. My family used to call me Monkey because I used to have this little raggy monkey that I used to drag around with me all the time.
Aw, I bet you're going to get lots of little monkeys now in the mail. Our toll-free number here is 1-800-344-ROCK, and that's 7625. Our guest today, Marky Mark. Don't go away.
You feel it, baby? Nah, you know, growing up in Boston, you know, I had my experiences with drugs and booze and all that, you know. But, you know, it is good that I experienced it at a younger age and went through it and to know both sides of it, and it is definitely better to be on the drug-free side of things.
All right, Marky Mark is here, and we have lots of phone calls, like Donna, who's calling from Wappingers Falls, New York. Donna, welcome to Rockline, and you can ask your question.
Hi, Marky.
Hi, Donna. How you doing?
I'm fine, thanks. Would you ever date a fan?
It all depends. You know, like I've said many times, people ask me, you know, how do I like a girl, or what attracts me to a girl, you know, and I have a tendency to say, well, I would like to meet a girl who didn't know me or anything. But then, you know, you never know. You could fall in love with anybody at any time.
Well,
So
MTV is in 77 countries, so you'd have to go to some remote place to find somebody who didn't know you. Let's go to Los Banos, California, where Elizabeth Shirley knows you. Elizabeth, go ahead. Say hello to Marky Mark.
Hi, Mark.
Hi, how you doing?
I love you a lot, and my question is, who's the girl on your Good Vibrations video?
There's a few girls in the video. Which girl?
The girl that you're kissing and stuff like that.
Oh, she's just a model from Boston that I met there through a casting agency. Nothing serious.
Did you have something to do with this casting? Like, did you sit in a room and go, yeah, she'd be good? Nah, not her. Tell us the truth.
No, actually, I wanted to be there. You know, I figured there was going to be a lot of girls there, and I might have had a good opportunity to meet some very fly women. But, you know, there was like 10 that the director and the producer had choose from, and I looked at some photos and stuff like that and decided from there.
But she's approved of the girl that they cast.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I missed out, though.
Christy is on the line in San Mateo, California. Hi, Christy. Welcome to Rockline.
Hi.
What's your question?
Hi, Marky. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Wow, I don't believe I'm talking to you. I just have one question, and I was wondering what type of message you're trying to send out to young children.
Young children, you know, the message that I would like people to know is you know, you're going to be faced with a lot of decisions in your life like I was, and hopefully you will make the right decisions because, you know, it's only going to affect you and the people who care about you and your loved ones. And, you know, you've got to be good to yourself and to your family.
Good to yourself and to your family. That is good advice. Let's go to Reno, Nevada, where Cindy is on the line. Welcome to Rockline, Cindy, and you can go now. Ask your question.
Hi, Mark. I think you're the greatest. And I was wondering if
thank you.
you have any acting plans in your future.
Nah. Nah, nothing like that. Well, I was gonna be in Vanilla Ice's movie, but they didn't want me to.
Is that true?
No, I'm just joking.
I thought we had a Rockline scoop right here. Well, that was a good question, Cindy. Thank you very much. Now, you are the youngest of 9 kids. Marky, we know what Donnie does. What does the rest of the family do?
One of my brothers is a chef. My 3 sisters are parents of 3 little boys. My other brother is a carpenter. My other brother lays carpets. My other brother is in construction. And Baynoy just be hanging out at the crib, I think.
Now, do you still live at home with your, still live at home, Marky?
Yes, I do. I live with Donnie and my mother and my stepdad.
Really?
Yes.
All right. Well, a lot of people have bought your song, obviously. It's #1. What kind of music do you listen to when you're at home with Donnie and everybody, family?
Well, I don't really listen to music with my family. My mother doesn't like all of the music that I listen to. She likes some of it, but she doesn't like all of it. But I just listen to a lot of different hip-hop artists, you know. A lot of new records come out, and I'll buy them and check them out, you know, and see if they're worth listening to.
Well, Mark is our guest today. It's Rockline on MTV. Now, we're going to see you one more time here at MTV in the Rock and Jock program, which, wait, I have it written down. It's going to air Saturday, October 26th, Sunday, October 27th, and Wednesday, October 30th. Now, rumor has it that you took on Magic Johnson. What is that all about?
I schooled them. I took them to the hoop. I got 10 offers from 10 different NBA teams. They all want me in the NBA now. Now, I don't think he tried that hard, but he was definitely in my way, and I just took it to him and schooled him.
I heard that you were walking around in your underwear at Rock and Jock.
Now, what it was is my pants were too big, and they just fell down. It was an accident.
An accident? We've seen a lot of your underwear. Why we see your underwear right here on the cover of Music for the People?
Oh, on the back?
Yeah, on the back.
Yeah. Well, man, P-Funk just be buying me that extra oversized clothing. You know, I've been on the road, so I've been losing a little bit of weight. I haven't been eating all that well. You know, nothing major, but, you know, some pants are a little loose on me.
Oh, so it's understandable if they just keep falling down. Well, I believe that Nicole is on the line from New York. New York, do we have time for a quick phone call? I think we do. Go ahead, Nicole. What's your question?
I just want to tell Marky I love him, and I want to know if he's doing any future work with the Northside Boys.
Yeah, hopefully, if the NSBs, if they let me get down, then I'm going to rap on that album. They got the funkiest hip-hop album coming out. Donnie produced it, and the Def Duo as well. I don't think the Def Duo, they're going to let me get busy on the album because the album's just about done. But hopefully the Northside Boys will let me get on the album. I'm very excited about rapping on that album.
All right, you're watching Rockline on MTV. Today's guest, Marky Mark. We will be right back. And you've spoken about Scrapes of the Law. You were speaking earlier about your drug experimentations, I'll say. What turned you around?
I just finally grew up, you know. I just decided, you know, that I wanted something better for my life, and you know, I just was basically fed up. You know, I just hit an all-time low and wanted something better for myself. It didn't have to be in the music business, you know. I would have been happy doing construction or just something constructive with my life as opposed to just hanging on a street corner.
And so you got yourself into the studio with the help of your brother, of course, and we're seeing the results right here at MTV. Michelle is on the line, the show where people get to call up, and Michelle has a question from Pittsfield, Mass., which is pretty close to your hometown, huh? Hi, Michelle. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Marky.
Hi. How you doing?
I just want to say I think you're great, and what do you think the future holds in store for you?
I don't know. I'm only 20, so I'm not worried about the future all that much. You know, I just want to take this record as far as I think it can go, and you know, I'll just take it from there.
And the next single is going to be Wild Side?
Yes.
That's of course the track with Lou Reed. A lot of artists get revitalized now through sampling. Yeah, don't you think, like the OJs and Lou Reed on your record?
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Okay, we have Julie on the line who's calling from Kansas City. Julie, Marky Mark, say hello to each other.
Hi, I just want to say I love you a lot, and I saw you on Dance for USA, and I want to know how that was.
Excuse me?
I saw you when you were on Dance for USA a couple weeks ago, and I was wanting to know what that was like.
Oh, it was okay. We didn't perform or anything, you know, we just hung out. It was kind of like a long trip for nothing.
Now, Julie, we don't talk about other networks' programs here at MTV. Let me just mention that Marky Mark will be...
Daddy, why are you sweating them? This is MT Villa.
MT Villa, where Marky Mark will be on the Rock and Jock Basketball Jam Saturday, October 26th, Sunday, October 27th, and Wednesday, October 30th. I hope you've got that, Julie. Jennifer is calling from Wappingers Falls, New York. Jennifer's happy watching MTV. Say hello to Marky Mark, Jen.
Hi, Marky Mark. What's up?
Hi, how you doing?
Good. I was just wondering, how do you feel about censorship in music today?
I think it's a bunch of bull. You know, anybody could say whatever they want, and you know, that's supposed to be what America's all about. So, you know, somebody got to take a stand and erase all that dumbness.
Now, I have a promo copy of your record. It's in the store. Do you or don't you have a label?
No, we don't have a label.
Did you do that on purpose?
Nah. Nah.
You didn't...
An explicit lyrics label?
Yeah. I mean, did
Nah.
you specifically try to avoid that?
Nah. Mm-mm.
Just worked out that way. Darren...
Yeah, it was...
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, it was no big deal. If we had it, you know, cool. Like they say, freedom of speech.
Darren, you are welcome to say anything you want. You're calling from Modesto, California. Say hello to Marky Mark.
How you doing, Marky Mark?
Hey, what's up, man? How's it going?
Yeah, I got a question for you. Where do you get your dancers, and where does one go to learn the dance steps?
All you gotta do is watch Club MTV, man. They got all the latest moves. The dancers in my group, you know, we all grew up in and around the same neighborhood, except for HB and Scotty. They grew up outside of Boston. But like Andy, you know, me and him used to break dance together, and he was in a group prior to this one with Scott and Hector. So, you know, they came down and tried out, and you know, but just watch Club MTV, and Julie Brown will update you on all the funky new steps.
There you go. Now, that's the kind of show promo that we like. You know, the Funky Bunch on the record, some of them actually rap, too.
Yeah, all of the Funky Bunch raps on the album, and they rap in the show, and they like to sing in the show, and
Now,
do all kinds of crazy stuff.
You wrote about half the songs with Donnie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was it hard for you to rap the songs that you weren't part of the writing process on?
Nah, because, you know, we were doing them together anyway. You know, I was always heavily involved anyway. You know, probably make me say ooh was kind of hard for me to get into that mellow mood, because like the song we had recorded before that was Peace. So, you know, it was like I was all hyped up and ready to get ill, and then just had to like take the pace and just like slow it down completely. And
So it was a real turnaround. The adjustment was sort of hard in the studio.
yeah, but Donnie, you know, cracked the whip on me and straightened me right out.
It's hard for me to imagine that. Jennifer is calling from Poquag, New York. Go ahead, Jennifer. What's your question?
Hi.
Hi, how you doing?
Fine. I just wanted to know, who are your biggest influences?
Influences in music, I don't think anybody really influenced me. You know, kind of like when I think a lot of people who are influenced by people tend to sound like them, you know, and their style tends to be more lenient to the other person's style. You know, I like to listen to a lot of different artists and things like that, but nobody really influenced me in my music.
Really, that's interesting. So you definitely feel that you have your own unique sound and style.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, we've got Eric on the line from St. Petersburg, Florida. Hi, Eric. Welcome to the show. Eric? Eric, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh,
Yeah, what's
okay.
up,
I wanted to ask him, how did he get his start, you know, and can I bust a rhyme for him?
Excuse me?
I was wondering, how did you get your start, you know, in rap?
Oh, you know, I just, like, the first song I ever did with the New Kids on the Block, me and my brother did a rap tune together. It was called It's a Party, and that's kind of like when I left the Kids. You know, I just used to rap over instrumental records and stuff like that, and then, you know, after a few years, me and my brother just decided to take it to the studio and put it on wax.
You know, a lot of people would think, oh, well, he got his record deal because he's Donnie Wahlberg's brother, but that, in fact, didn't happen. You really had to pound the streets, too, right?
Yeah, well, you know, and we wanted to go with a label who really believed in the project and believed in the record, and that was it. You know, I mean, we could have gotten deals for a number of different reasons. You know, we could have probably got a deal because I was Donnie's brother, and a lot of labels probably would have figured, hey, you know, as big as the new kids were, this kid can probably be just as big. But we didn't want to go that way. We just wanted to go with the record and whoever believed in the record itself. And that was it.
And Interscope walked away with the record deal. Jessica
Yes.
is calling from Galveston, Texas. Hi, Jessica. How are you? Jessica, you can go ahead.
Hello?
Hello?
You're on.
Oh, are you anything like your brother?
Yeah, and you know, we're two different people, but we also come from the same parents, so we have a lot of similar habits, but then we have a lot of different habits.
I heard Chris and Rich Robinson once say that when they were working together, they often come to actual blows. Is there any friction between you and Donnie?
Nah, sometimes, you know, but you know, I be lifting weights and all, so I don't think he really wants to step to me no more.
Oh!
But he got beat. He might beat me down, but you know, he's just fronting. He don't want to step to me really.
Hey, that'd be
You know.
a great rockin' jock. Donnie and Marky Mark in the ring together.
Oh, yeah, we could box. We always used to box when we were little. We always used to wrestle. He used to beat me down, and me being the youngest of 9, I used to get waxed on a daily basis.
I understand. I have 4 brothers. It's a similar situation. Marky, thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Oh, Martha, thank you very much for having me, and it was a pleasure being able to speak with you, even though I can't see you right now.
Oh.
But I'm looking forward to meeting you in person.
I
It was
said
very nice speaking with you.
I'll pick you up at the airport. That's
Oh,
it for
great.
this edition of Rockline. Next week, Metallica. See you then.